Let's go, girls. Come on.
From New York City to Los Angeles, Powered Up with Beck and Franklin is giving women of all ages permission to live the life they've always dreamed of. Why live in black and white when you can choose the brilliance of 3D and Technicolor? Each week, Sandra Beck and Linda Franklin and their high-powered guests will be here to cheer you on, to share their challenges, their successes, and what they've learned along the way. It's all about women supporting women. The stories and practical tips on sex, beauty, money, and so much more are designed to help you reconnect to the powerful woman you are. Fabulous knows no limits. Now it's time for you to expand your boundaries. Here are Sandra Beck and Linda Franklin.
Hey ladies, this is Sandra Beck and I'm here with Linda Franklin, and we have an outstanding show today. We are going to be welcoming on energy movement healer Maryam Webster, and then we're going to round out the hour with one of our favorite lifestyle experts, Deb Boulanger, and our focus today is energy. Who has it, what is it, and how do I get it? Because I know, Linda, I'm dragging these days, and I just feel like I could suck the energy right out of this show into my life if I could.
Well, that's a very good topic for our guest today, because I have my own thoughts on that, but we will wait for her to come on. But it's what is energy? Where do you get it from? I don't think a lot of people really understand what it is, so I think it'll be a very interesting discussion.
It is, because I always hear that analogy is like, okay, well, a light bulb turns on. You don't need to know what electricity is, just need to know how to work it. But I know, if I plug too many sockets in, electrical things into my socket, I'm going to blow the house. And I feel like I do that to myself. I plug in all these things in myself because I want to live at 100 miles an hour, which I'm, apt to do. And I make every minute count. I make every moment count. But then I just go into crash mode. And I'm hoping today to learn some balance. I don't know if it's in my nature, but I
don't think, it's not something you can learn. It's something that you have to be present for and you have to practice. Nobody can teach you that. It's something that you have to want. It is, and it's about being present, about being conscious on things that you do, and knowing when it's not good for you and pulling back.
Yeah, you're right. But for some people, I think it's very easy for them to pull back. For me, I have probably very little impulse control, and I get all excited about things, and I want to do it, and then I really forget that I'm not an inexhaustible resource, and I don't have 50 hours in my day. So maybe it's an awareness or a mindfulness thing with me.
Well, it's not that. As long as you're enjoying it and you're having fun with it, it's a good thing. But you said you plugged in a million plugs and you're going to blow the circuit. You just don't go from, gee, I'm having such a great time, I love this so much, to blowing a circuit. Something happens between, the good and the bad. So what is that thing that goes from, oh my God, this is so much fun, to, oh my God, I'm killing myself?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question because, by my nature, I'm a happy person. When I was a little girl, my nickname was Happy, and everybody called me Happy Girl. Oh, it's Happy Girl. And I generally am a very, very happy person. I wake up in the morning happy. I've had some curveballs in my life, and I really do enjoy my life. And you're right, I've got to figure out what is that one thing that I do that I plug in that puts me into overload, because I enjoy people. I enjoy, I'm selling these 31 bags now, and I love it. I love organizing people's lives. I love to see their face light up when they get this new bag, and it has like the gym bag with their earring thing, and they can hook their watch in there and put their sneakers in a little container away from their gym clothes. Things like that bug the crap out of me. I find I'm able to share with other people, and I love it. But then maybe it's like every once in a while my energy goes like, when the grid is overloaded in New York City and the lights go down.
Yeah, Well, it's priorities. It's what's most important, and if there's some things in the mix that aren't, then you've just got to be able to let them go, because you can't do everything all at once. It's impossible.
Oh my God, you just channeled my mother when I was like, 11 years old. I mean, Linda, there's so many things I love about you, and, cutting to the chase is one of them. And another one is like, you're probably one of my only friends who is not afraid to say it like it is. And I'm the type of person who needs to hear it like uncensored, uncluttered, and just, you just brought me back to 11 years old, where my mom would say, like, you don't have to live the rest of your life in the next 10 minutes.
Yes, exactly. I'm not saying that women can't have it all. You just can't have it all at once. And you get to a point, and I think that you have to keep reevaluating, because life sort of makes that decision for you about when to reevaluate and say, okay, what am I really liking now? What's benefiting me? What's giving me growth potential? What is making me happiest? And what isn't? And sort of like pare down the list.
We've been working on this together now, with me especially, because, Powered Up Talk Radio is often my, 1 hour of public personal therapy. A year ago, you had talked to me about that, and I went through and I pared down some of my charitable obligations that I felt that I had to do, but I really didn't want to do and weren't serving me. And then I went through and I cut out a bunch of clutter in my life and people who didn't serve me and people who didn't help me feel good or get to my goals and just held me back. And, I think one of the things I took away from you this week, and when we had that heart open conversation with Michael Resser, and for those of you that missed that, you can check us out on iTunes. Just go to Powered Up Talk Radio and search for the Michael Resser episodes. When he talked about being heart open and having the ability, Linda, you said to me, Stan, you really need to pause. You need to carve some time in your life where you can just think. And this weekend, I really, truly tried to do that. I didn't put my headphones on with music. I didn't, watch the TV while I was ironing and cleaning and, doing 50 things at once, including burning cookies. And I thought, what, I'm just going to sit still and think. And it was really hard for me, just to sit still alone with my thoughts.
Well, I'm not having that problem anymore. I treasure my alone time, and I carve out more and more time to be alone. I just love my alone time. I read and I think, and and appreciate my dog. I don't know. I just love it. I like being by myself.
See, I like being by myself too, but I find all these competing thoughts come in, like you really should do the laundry, you really should do the dishes, you really should clean the pool, you haven't run the sprinkler system, the trees are going to die. How do you get all that minutia out of your head so you can breathe?
That still can be alone time. Because if you're doing the laundry, I mean, you could almost be in an aloneness meditation just doing laundry. What I call alone time, it's not that I don't do my things that I need to do, because I am a neatness freak, so everything's got to be just so, but I can do that, just me and doing my work and alone. When I'm in the country, I grab a cutter and I go and I walk the dog, and on the way I'm cutting trees, parts of trees and bushes and stuff. I mean, I love that. I don't need an audience, and I don't need people.
But that's really good that you clarified that, because what I took away from it, like with this alone time, is that you must be alone. You're like doing nothing alone. And I have alone time, and my alone time is my planning, my thinking, my creative time. But I didn't think about that alone time in those terms. That's why I love when you tell me what it looks like, what it tastes like, what it feels like, because when somebody says alone time, to me, it's a different interpretation of what it means to you or everybody else. And I think that's really valuable, that we identify that alone time really isn't doing nothing and meditating or sitting there. It's just being with yourself and whatever you're doing.
Right. I mean, I'm not just sitting there looking at the four walls. I'm reading or all those things that I said. So, but it's alone time because there's nobody's pulling at me. I can do it at my own speed. And it's just a very, very nice feeling without other pressures coming in to pull you in a different direction.
Well, and you hit it right on the money, because I have pulled up for this show today from the Healthy Aspects of Solitude. Sherry Borg Carter wrote the 6 reasons you should spend more time alone, and the benefits that she came up with, I think, are outstanding. Solitude allows you to reboot your brain and unwind. Solitude helps you improve your concentration and increase your productivity. Solitude gives you an opportunity to discover yourself and find your own voice. Solitude provides time for you to think deeply. Solitude helps you work through problems more effectively. Solitude can enhance the quality of your relationships with others. I thought that was a cool thing. And then she goes on about, use your lunchtime, schedule solitude, close your door, get up or get in early, disconnect from your cell phone. All these things are really, really valuable. So, just Google. It was on Psychology Today. So I thought the benefits of seeking solitude, I know we know them all, in our head, but we really got to bring them into practice and bring them into our heart.
Okay, well, that's a good place to begin. It's good surface. I like to dig deeper, so but it's a good beginning.
That's it, and that's why we're such great partners on this radio show, Linda. I'm totally surface gal, running around chasing shining objects, going look, and you sit there and go, okay, let's dig down, let's dig deep. And, I think together we're just the perfect pair. So I probably should take us to commercial break. What do you think?
That sounds like a good idea.
Atta girl. Okay, so this is Sandra Beck, and I'm here with my wonderful cohort, Linda Franklin. She's in New York. I'm in Los Angeles, and we are Powered Up Talk Radio. And when we come back from the break, we are going to welcome back to the show Maryam Webster. She is an outstanding person. She's somebody that I have great respect for, and she is powered back after incredible odds. So she's going to talk to us about energy after the break.
We've got lots more Powered Up with Sandra Beck and Linda Franklin after these messages.
Have you heard? The pages of American Patchwork and Quilting magazine come to life on our new weekly online radio show, American Patchwork and Quilting. Join Pat Sloan, our blogging and quilt designer host, as she talks about the latest trends, ideas, and inspirations. Her guests include quilt pattern designers, authors, quilt shop owners, and our editors, all quilters, just like you. Call in with your questions. Get quilting tips from industry experts. Learn about free patterns. Hear behind-the-scenes stories from our magazines, American Patchwork and Quilting, Quilt Sampler, and Quilts and More. Get the scoop on free stuff and find out more about the best independent quilt shops in North America. To listen to a live show, tune in Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern. Just log on to allpeoplequilt.com/radio. To hear past shows, go to iTunes and search for American Patchwork and Quilting Radio. We hope you'll join us because we know that quilting changes everything.
We often ask, is that all there is? Why is this happening to me? Why am I always broke? How am I going to survive this mess? Then join Dr. Geraldine Tegeloff for Nature Spirit Speak, 7 p.m. Tuesday evenings on TogiNet.com. Geraldine is a metaphysician, nature intuitive, and prosperity coach who shares with you how she went from totally broke to living what she would call her perfectly prosperous life. Through the combination of a wealth of metaphysical knowledge and her amazing ability as an intuitive, Geraldine brings to you the secrets of her magical journey of healing emotionally, spiritually, and financially. As with the ancient seers and master teachers, Geraldine has a unique gift of being able to connect to the simple yet profound messages brought to us by Mother Nature, and happily shares these through today's note to self on her webpage, naturespiritspeak.com. If you need help with your journey, why not connect with Geraldine during her show, Nature Spirit Speak, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Central on toginet.com.
We're back with Sandra Beck and Linda Franklin. Here's more Powered Up with Beck and Franklin.
Hey ladies, this is Sandra Beck, and I am here today with my good friend Linda Franklin, and from coast to coast we've got you covered. And our target today is really to dig deep into the word energy, to talk about energy, who has it, how to get it, how do I get more of it, do I need more of it, how do I allocate it? There's a million questions, and so we have welcomed on our good friend Maryam Webster. She's been on our show before, and she did a great show with us a while back. So if you go to iTunes and go to Powered Up Talk Radio, our channel on iTunes, you can type in Maryam Webster and search through and see her shows. You can also go to our radio host site at toginet.com, or you can go to our website, powereduptalkradio.com, and find her there. So she is a really great person, and she has battled back with tremendous odds. I'm going to ask her to take a couple minutes and share her personal journey before we dig into energy, because she's somebody you're going to want to listen to, because she has battled back against tremendous odds. Maryam, it's nice to have you on the show today.
Well, thank you so much, Sandy. It's nice to be here again.
Oh, it's great. So tell us, what is your history? What's the story? Why should we listen to you?
Okay, well, I was just talking about this the other day to somebody, and I said, well, it's all well and good for you. You're a published author, and you've got CDs and DVDs, and you speak everywhere, and blah, 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 and it must be nice because it's all been easy. And I said, after I picked myself up off the floor laughing, I started telling them my story. And I said, you can do exactly what, and I'm going to say that to every person listening today, you can do exactly what I have done, because it wasn't easy for me, and it's not easy for most of us who make it. And what I've come back from is in the late 80s, I was living in England with my first husband, and I was run into by a drunk driver. It's actually a drunk motorcyclist. Ran into the back of my car. Long story short, I became a paraplegic and was told I would never walk again. I was paralyzed from the waist down. And the best answer I always say for that is your middle finger, because they have no idea what you can do. Doctors have a kind of sort of an idea because they've seen stuff like this before. But let me tell you this. Inside of each of us lives a magical, you can call it a wizard, a genie, a magic-inducing fairy, godmother, or whatever. But you have the power inside you to do anything you can conceive of. So just know that that's true. And I knew that that was true, and moreover, my mother believed in me so much. She told me this every day. I got sick of it. But she told me this every day. And it took 9 years, but I made myself walk again. I also gained up to 335 pounds while I was lying in bed. And I've lost most of that by now pretty effortlessly with the techniques that I've learned. But while I was in bed and I was in excruciating pain, I discovered some techniques that are the basis of what I teach everybody, and they are to do with energy. And they're, from broadly speaking, a discipline called energy psychology. And I was a psychologist for 30 years, and then I retrained in coaching, and I married these two techniques into a program of energy coaching I ran for 9 years. And this is what I would advise anybody. And by the way, they're easy. They're not, you don't have to be a PhD to learn and use this sort of stuff. And I created one myself that is even easier than all the rest. So there's absolutely tools and help for you here.
Okay, that story is a miraculous story, but you hear about miracles all the time. and I think it has to do with your own will and belief in yourself that you can do something that nobody else thinks you can do. Now, you talk about energy, and you said, well, there might be a little fairy godmother or a little whatever, fairy dust or whatever inside you. I believe, and this is, they may throw me off the air on this, but I believe that we're all descended from a very high source, and that every human being on this planet has got, it's almost like the source is the meteor, and then every once in a while there's a meteor shower, and these little pieces come down, and they lodge in each and every one of us. And if we believe that we had that power from the bigger source, imagine what we're capable of doing. I think it's discovering who we really are and what we are capable of doing that propels us to actually go out and do it.
Well, Linda, if you're my age, you probably remember Woodstock, that song, We Are Stardust, We Are Golden, and that's literally the truth. Our bodies are made of the same stuff as the stars, the same physical matter, so you're not far off at all. We are made of the same physical matter as the entire universe around us. We were concatenated out of the dust of stars. We are, and it is my belief, my experience, and the experience of every single person I've ever worked with, that we are completely limitless in what we can accomplish. I've seen people beat cancer, kick it to the curb. I've seen people that were supersized fatties like I was lose, and I can say that because, hey, I was there, and lose 5 people's worth in size, and keep it off. I've seen so many things happen that you would have said that doctors and other professionals have said will never happen, and it does persistently, because the will is in each of us, the power and the knowledge is in each of us. It just takes getting to it to accomplish it. By the way, I have something that can help. Can I talk about that for a second?
Sure.
I have a CD that I would like to give everybody, and this is my absolutely to do with energy, and it's from my book, Everyday Bliss for Busy Women. And it's this 12 Keys to Bliss. And a lot of what I did consisted in getting rid of the bliss blockers in my life, what was really taking me out of the flow, and getting back in that flow in order to use the energy appropriately, okay, in order to energize myself and so on. And I'm giving that away to people that are subscribing to my newsletter list. I'm mainly working with women in midlife with their issues, but it doesn't matter who you are. Come on, subscribe to my list. It's at everywomanchanges.com, and just put your name and number in, name and email in the right little form there on the right-hand side, and I'm sending that out in the next couple of weeks. So I want to make sure everybody gets that CD. It's fully downloadable, and it will take you out of in fact, there's one track that's Emergency 911 Bliss Fix. If you're in the dumper right now, then you need to listen to that, and it will take you right out and back into the flow so you can start amping the energy up in your life, and it'll give you a lot of exercises to do that too.
You can also put that on, put that information on our Facebook page, because we really want people to start to come to our Facebook page, because we really want to have a great dialogue there and get a real community of women in their 50s.
Absolutely. That
would be
Powered
Up Talk Radio.
Powered Up Talk Radio.
Yeah.
Awesome. We'll do that.
Why do you think that women are, I guess men do it too, but, I usually think it's more of a woman thing, of giving up their power so easily?
Well, I'd like to first say, Linda, that I'm very happy to note that the younger generation women aren't doing that anymore. I'm really happy that they're just saying, "Are you kidding me?" when somebody tries to put them down or put them in a corner. And I actually heard a 16-year-old woman say, "Nobody puts baby in the corner," without really knowing where that came from, because she'd never seen the movie, But she said, "Nobody puts baby in the corner." And she stepped up to this person who was attacking her She was giving a speech, and it was at a recent. It was a little graduation from a local academy that I was attending with a friend and her daughter, and I saw this and went, right on. That is so awesome. And I think that what happens with us older women, and not that we are by any means out of the flow, because this is our time, ladies. If you are 40 plus, this is absolutely our time. Oprah said 50 is the new 30, and she's so right. So right. That we are just right in step. So what causes us to give our power up is we were raised that way. We were raised to be givers and to give, and we weren't taught to fill our own well first. So it goes back to that, the instruction on the airplane, put your own oxygen mask on first so you can be there to put your child's mask on. Because if you don't help yourself first, you may not be there to help the child out when, the plane's on fire and you need to get them out the door. So that is so important, to fill our own wells first, and we're not taught to do that from birth. And if we don't somehow pick that up, and if we're surrounded by exemplars in our grandmother and mother and aunts and the teachers in our lives, if we're not surrounded by people who do that, then we don't learn. And we get to where it's an ingrained habit to give till the well is dry, and then we collapse on the side of the road and have to take a breather, have to get burnt out and have to take a month off. And I think that's why we do that. It's just an ingrained habit, but habits can be broken.
It's very important that you say that so many of the things that we do and think and say are just habit. And even just the saying that, identifying that this is a habit and not a choice, is a really, really big, powerful distinction. I'm trying to teach my kids that because they, do things because this is the way their friends do it or the way we've always done it. And breaking those habits is really part of and acknowledging that their habit's not a choice. And I've got to take us to commercial break, so I'm sorry I blabbed through the end. Our guest today here is Maryam with an M. Webster. You can check her out. She's going to come back after the break, and we're going to talk more about energy. But her website is Maryam, Maryam Webster.com. You can Google her and find her. She's got a lot of great information out there. She was talking about a CD that you can download. You can go to her site and sign up, and you'll get a link to that download. When we come back from the break, we are going to talk about where do we get energy? Where do we find it in our lives? I think it's intricately tied to our thoughts, so I can't wait to hear what Linda and Maryam have to say after the break.
We've got lots more Powered Up with Sandra Beck and Linda Franklin after these messages.
This is for all you girls about 42. Tossing pennies into the fountain of youth.
Finally, a show that supports women who are in the midst of a transition in midlife. The show is Second Wind. Here's what certified coach, author, and host of Second Wind, Joyce Buford, wants you to know.
It's so empowering for women to hear about other women and their accomplishments.
We all need cheerleaders, someone who's on our side.
Second Wind is that program to help women connect with other women, hear other women's stories.
In a stressful world,
find power in those stories.
Learn to discover your passions and joys again. Create the life you want to live to the fullest. Join us for Second Wind with Joyce Buford, Tuesdays at 9 a.m. Central, right here on the TogiNet Radio Network.
We often ask, is that all there is? Why is this happening to me? Why am I always broke? How am I going to survive this mess? Then join Dr. Geraldine Tegeloff for Nature Spirit Speak, 7 p.m. Tuesday evenings on TogiNet.com. Geraldine is a metaphysician, nature intuitive, and prosperity coach who shares with you how she went from totally broke to living what she would call her perfectly prosperous life. Through the combination of a wealth of metaphysical knowledge and her amazing ability as an intuitive, Geraldine brings to you the secrets of her magical journey of healing emotionally, spiritually, and financially. As with the ancient seers and master teachers, Geraldine has a unique gift of being able to connect to the simple yet profound messages brought to us by Mother Nature, and happily shares these through today's note to self on her webpage, nature'sspiritspeak.com. If you need help with your journey, why not connect with Geraldine during her show, Nature's Spirit Speak, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Central on TogiNet.com.
We're back with Sandra Beck and Linda Franklin. Here's more Powered Up with Beck and Franklin.
This is for all you girls about 42.
Hey, ladies, this is Sandra Beck, and we're visiting with Maryam Webster today. And Maryam, you've got a different website domain that's a lot easier to spell than your name. You want to share that with us?
Yeah, my name's so hard to spell. So everywomanchanges.com, everywomanchanges.com, plural. So if you go there, it just redirects to my main website right now. We're actually developing a second website, especially for my work with midlife women that will be there permanently. But you can sign up and get that CD when it's downloadable. You'll immediately get some tips for how to deal with the midlife crazies and the hot flashes and stuff. And by the way, I used what I teach, and I don't have hot flashes and I don't take drugs. So, there you go. That's energy therapy right there.
That is wonderful. Okay, so I want to throw out a question to you guys. Energy. Linda, what is it? Because I'm going to go last because I have no idea.
Well, I'm just looking at the supreme energy. Here I'm going, because I guess maybe of my age, I am really getting shoulder deep into spiritual teachings, and I'm going with that energy of the universe and how we're all attached to it. So to me, that is the supreme energy, and that's what I'm working so hard to tap into my own. And that's about breaking old habits every day to tap into that new source of knowing. So that's my definition of energy.
Okay, that's outstanding. That Maryam, what is your definition of energy?
Well, it's very interesting, Linda, that you should say that, because our definitions are very close. And I'd like to recommend for everybody listening a book that is very accessible by Lynn McTaggart, who is coming from a scientific viewpoint, but the book is The Field, The Quest for the Secret Force of the Universe. And it parses apart both the scientific and the esoteric information on what energy is, but the basis is that it's a unified field theory, if you've ever heard that there is a force that runs through everything. It runs through me, you, my kitty cat sitting beside me, the chair, the table, certainly the radio waves are energy. Everything that exists is energy. Some of it is denser than others, and it appears in the form of a table or a human or a car or whatever else. And it remains to the human eye how dense the energy is. We can't see air because air is not dense. Nonetheless, air is energy. The radio waves go through the air. We can't see them, but they are energy. And simultaneously, what I work with myself and with my clients is the energy that runs our body, which is a weak electromagnetic energy, that the same energy that acupuncturists use when they put a needle in your body at a certain juncture. Then they can affect the energetic flow. We do the same thing with our fingers. We can warm or tap on those points, or we can use the energy in our minds, our intentional energy, like prayer, meditation, making intentions. These are forms of intentional energy. Does that answer the question?
On first. Yeah, I got nothing after you two bring me up.
No, but all of that's true. It is. Energy is everywhere, and certainly inside of us, and we just have to tap into it because it's there. And I think once you tap into it, begin to understand how powerful it is and how powerful you are, it's like you're healing from your accident. All things are possible. And it certainly brings you a much more joyful life because you feel like you're in control of it. And no matter what happens, you're going to be able to handle it because you're in that sacred space.
Absolutely. Well, I can tell you, I was flat on my back. I couldn't move. And at the time, when I first started this journey of healing myself, I couldn't move my head either. They had my head in a brace. So I had nothing. I couldn't read a book. So I had trained for years I'm a veteran of a shamanic practitioner training of 15 years with a local a Métis shaman, Corliss Raymond Delarme Jr. Out of Columbia, Missouri, where I grew up. And everybody called him D. And one of the things he first taught us was to see inside our bodies and to heal what was there that we found that was wrong. So that's all I had. And some other training in a very similar vein. And I started doing that. I started running my energy meridians, those meridians that the acupuncture points lie on. And I knew how to do that. And to do this exercise, I have an exercise for everybody. If we can do an exercise for getting your energy up, would you like that?
Yes.
I have one that's real quick, and this comes from educational kinesiology, applied kinesiology, which is a field that deals with the energy in the body, and it's called the zip-up. And there are two big meridians. One is the central and one is the governing, and you don't have to know that, but one runs from your crotch up to your chin. Okay, that's the central meridian. And then the other one runs from just under your buttocks, around all the way up your spine and around the top of your head, and it goes down your forehead, around your nose, and runs right to the upper lip. So you have a point on the upper lip and a point on your chin. So we are going to just zip these up like we're pulling the zipper on a jumpsuit. And how you do this is you simply use your dominant hand, doesn't matter which hand, and you just draw a line from your crotch going up your body. And I like to touch my body, but you don't have to. You can be a couple inches off if it's uncomfortable for you. And just go up and tap your chin. And let's do that 3 times. And go up from your crotch and tap your chin, from your crotch and tap your chin 3 times. Great. Now we're going to go around to the back and reach as under your buttocks as you can get. It doesn't matter if it's all the way. Intention, remember, is also energy. So draw that, and you're not going to be able to run your hand all the way up your back. You'd have to unscrew your arm backwards. So we're just going to get up as far as we can and then reach over the top like we're grabbing that zipper of the dress, and grab that line of energy. And it's all pretend, which is good because there's a little kid inside of you that really knows how to do this. We can pretend good when we go back to 3 years old. And go ahead and tap that upper lip. Now let's do it again. Up the butt, grab the zipper, up the back, around, tap the upper lip. One more time, up the butt, over the head, grab that zipper, tap the upper lip. Okay? That is the first part of it. And zipping up, by the way, this keeps your energy from leaking out. Our energy leaks out we've got some major points. The heart and the solar plexus are 2 of them that when we're connected to people in our family and they're down, depressed, or sick, they can suck our energy away. You know how it is when you get next to someone who's sick. And you just kind of drag out of their hospital room or something. You just feel draggy. That's because they don't know they're doing it. But people when they're depleted, they're reaching out and pulling energy out of people that they can pull out of. If you're connected to them because you love them, they can pull it out at our heart and our solar plexus. So
do you have to be present for that, or can they suck you dry from remotely?
They can definitely suck you dry remotely.
From the phone?
Definitely. When you have clients, for instance, and this happens with those of us who work with the public, we have clients that are so down in the mouth, depressed, or so messed up in their heads that you think about getting on a phone call with them, and it's like, oh man, I just don't want to go, because I feel horrible. That's the same thing. You're connected at a certain level. It may not be the heart connection of a mother and child or a spouse or a grandma or something, but you're connected to that person. Anytime your energy intersects, even if you've never met. We've never met in the physical, and yet we are connected energetically because we are in an energetic flow together right now. Everybody that's listening to this, we are connected in a certain way. So I want to do just one more real quick thing. that's going to help us. Now we've got our energy packaged up, and you can do this every morning when you get out of bed. When you start feeling draggy in the afternoon, that afternoon slump, do that then. Every time you go to the bathroom, I just do it because it's so quick, and it will help keep your energy up during the day and through the night. So the next thing is cross-crawling. This, again, is from Educational and Applied Kinesiology. And you're simply going to, if you're sitting, you can do this sitting or standing. I like doing it standing. You're going to touch your opposite knee with opposite hand, so left hand to right knee, and just touch. And I like lifting my knee as I'm standing. It's like a little kind of jumping jack kind of thing. Lift the left knee, touch it with the right hand, and just kind of now go back and forth as fast as you can comfortably. What you're doing is you're crossing the midline of your body. The energy starts in your head. It comes down. If you suck it into you from, like, you can reach up to the heavens and suck energy down into you. You can suck it up from the earth. These are two great big energy bodies we interact with all the time. They can fill you up. But it comes in at your head, and you know how your right hemisphere of your brain controls your left hand and vice versa? Yep. Well, that energy crosses at your neck, and it goes down the right side and left side of your body. So in order to keep it crossed in a healthy way, this is what we do. We touch the opposite knee with the opposite hand and just keep doing that. And do that 15, 20 times. And take a big, deep breath. Let's do it again. Another big, deep breath, just 3 times. And see how you feel. Can I get you guys to tell me how you're feeling after doing that?
Oh, my God, I forgot I was on the radio. The producer's like, station cues, and I'm like, I'm tapping, I'm breathing, don't bother me. It feels great. I'm going to teach my kids this.
With the one with the zipper, I think it's really important that we learn how to block out the negative energy from either things or people that we don't want to ingest. So if we zip ourselves with the zipper, will that keep it out?
That absolutely helps. That's a first line of defense, and then there are more advanced techniques that you can use. I discussed this on that free CD at everywomanchanges.com that people can go and download. That's going to be up in the next couple of weeks, guys. It's not immediately available, but I will send you a note. But that discusses advanced techniques for how to keep people out. You can very simply, though, surround yourself with a bubble of white light, like you step into a soap bubble.
Yeah.
Just a bubble of white light, real simple, and particularly if you're feeling scared or extremely angry, any extreme of emotion, and you want to calm yourself down, do that zip, 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 and then step into the bubble of white light, and then I would do those cross crawls where I touch the opposite knee with the opposite hand. And that will get your energy flowing back, right? Because when you get angry or upset in any way, it takes you offline from the flow that we need to be in to live our perfect lives, and it puts you in this kind of jaggedy, fighting upstream, you know.
Okay, we got to go to commercial break. We're going to bring you back, Maryam Webster. You were amazing, 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 amazing. I could listen to you all day. We come back from the break. We're going to welcome Deb Boulanger. She's going to tell us what to eat to keep our energy up.
We've got lots more Powered Up with Sandra Beck and Linda Franklin after these messages.
Get ready to live La Bella Vita with Dawn Catherine on TogiNet.com. Live La Bella Vita. If you're wanting to know all the beauty tricks of the trade and the latest fashion trends before everyone else, this is your show. If you admire celebrities' beauty and their fashion sense, this is your show. Do you love wine and want to know more about the process it takes to make wine from the vine to the bottle? This is your show. Live La Bella Vita. For more on the show and your host, check out our website, labellavitacosmetico.com. This is the kind of show you can sink your teeth into. If you enjoy traveling and food and family, all with an Italian flair, then you can live La Bella Vita with your host, Dawn Catherine. Wednesday nights at midnight, 11 p.m. Central, on TogiNet.com. In the annals annals of recorded history, there has never been anything that can compare to home movies. But now, in this modern era, where do you turn for the best information? Right here. It's the Home Movie Legacy Project, hosted by Rhonda Vigent. Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Central here on the Rockstar Radio Network. Learn how to organize, digitize, share on social media, use as genealogy research, repurpose, or even monetize found footage. Discover ways to find films about your own family that you didn't even know existed. Or create a documentary that can use the power of home movies to deliver a message that can impact the lives of many. For more on Rhonda and the show, go to our website, homemovielegacy.com. Then be here as the journey continues with the Home Movie Legacy Project with Rhonda Vigent. Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Central here on the Rockstar Radio Network.
We're back with Sandra Beck and Linda Franklin. Here's more Powered Up with Beck and Franklin.
Hey ladies, this is Sandra Beck and I'm here with Linda Franklin, and we were visiting with Maryam Webster, and she just has some cool things. Linda, I'm going to zip, get into my bubble of white light, then I'm going to do my cross crawls and go on with my day, because that type of stuff I totally dig. I will totally do it. You know, I don't care if I look like a total goon sitting in a restaurant doing my tap, zip, but I will do it whenever I need an energy shift.
Absolutely. And you tell me how it works out.
Yes.
We'll compare notes.
You know me, I'm game for anything. We're going to welcome now to the show a repeat guest. We've had a lot of shows with her, so you can check her out on iTunes. Pull us up under Powered Up Talk Radio and type in Deb Boulanger. And she's going to talk to us today about foods and activities that help generate energy. You know, we had such an esoteric, deep discussion that just went over my head like a 747. I took notes. I'm going to have to listen to the show again. You guys are so good, Linda and Maryam. And Deb is talking about a topic I can really get my hands on, because it's eating and doing, two of my favorite things. So, Deb, why don't you talk to us today a little bit about some foods and activities that can give us energy?
Absolutely. Thanks, Sandra. Hi, Linda.
Hi.
So energy, energy to me is just the fuel of life, and everything is energy, right? So when you get out of bed in the morning, that takes energy, and energy requires fuel. And there's so many different things that actually fuel us. There's the food we eat. There's the amount of sleep we get. There's people we love who fuel us and feed us. There's activities like exercise or just having fun and being with people we enjoy being with. Like Linda said, just kicking back and relaxing, getting some alone time, meditation and prayer, which came up a little bit in the prior conversation. Breath work is another way to get more energy. And for me, it's like this balance. There's always this equation, and we're always, especially as women, I think we're always trying to push it real hard. We're trying to push it further than we should. I know I've been doing this lately. I've been working with professional women over 40 who want to feel healthy, hot, and happy. And I have a lot of clients who want a lot out of me. So I need to make sure that I've got enough in me to be able to deliver, because there are things that feed me, and then there's drains, and the drains are bad food, right? So just the opposite: bad food, toxic people, too much work, not enough sleep, or not enough really good high quality sleep. Social media, getting sucked into Facebook at 10:30 at night when we know we should be going to bed. Junk mail. I'm about to go on a 2-week meditation retreat, which is my time to really recharge, because I start revving this time of year. I don't know what it is, but my mind is going. I've got a lot of energy going, and I need to just refocus that and recenter. So, yeah.
Deb, do you ever do acupuncture?
I have. I'm not really quite sure about acupuncture. I tend to take care of my body through nutrition. So it's either through food or nutritional supplementation. I don't really have a whole lot of aches and pains or problems. I have done acupuncture in the past for anxiety, for sleep. Right after 9/11, I was living in New York City at the time, and I had what they said was I was one of the walking wounded. I had some post-traumatic stress from that. And I had trouble sleeping. I had some anxiety. And I tried acupuncture at that point.
Did it help?
See, I have a lot of experience with acupuncture. I'm going to buzz in right now because I was, shit out of luck with the energy conversation, but I can talk about pins and needles all over. I did a pins and needle facelift. I did an acupuncture facelift where they tightened up the muscles on my face and tightened up the skin. And it was really, really super painful. I will tell you, to be rolled over with this like pin cushion thing they rolled all over my face. And it was super painful, but I will tell you the results were magnificent. And it was very natural. All I had to do was put some, coconut oil on my face and, they stuck me full of pins. And, it made a big difference. I also had treatment of acupuncture for infertility. I had it for weight loss, and I had it for chronic headaches. And I will tell you, the chronic headaches one and the facelift rock my world. I mean, the idea that I didn't have to go under the knife, I don't have to do these things, and, not to rip off Jackie Silver and aging backwards, but I am a big, big proponent of acupuncture. I had my mom's treatments done when she was in the later stages of her cancer for pain relief, and then I put my 80-year-old dad under the pin where they stuck these like ginormous, like 6-inch needles in his hip to help him walk better. But you know what? It works. I don't know why. I don't know how, but my skin is great. My headaches are gone, and I support myself nutritionally, but I'm a big proponent of acupuncture if you can get over the needles.
Yeah, I think I think everybody's different, right? And so what works for you is going to be different than what works for somebody else. I haven't done it recently, but that doesn't mean that I don't find value in it. I'm wondering, there's something in the back of my mind that says that the energy people, the people who are really into the plasma field, are not big fans about putting needles into meridian points. But I don't have a connection there on why I believe that to be true. But that's some of the things that I've heard. It'd be interesting if Maryam were still here to see how she feels about acupuncture. But there's also, I think you mentioned it too, Linda, some of the things that drain us are just the toxic thoughts that we allow into our brains, the worries and things like that. So there's the physical things that drag us down, but there's also worries, negative feelings, comparisons. Whenever you find yourself comparing yourself to someone else, whether it's positive or negative, it's never good, right? So you're either going to be up or down. Jealousy, all of those feelings.
Judgment, all of those things. They just do a terrible number on your psyche.
They do, and it's extraordinarily draining. So when I work with people more closely through Live a Whole Life at liveawholelife.net, we look at all of these things, that the fuel that's going in, is there good fuel going in? Is there powerful thoughts, intentions? I loved what Maryam said about intentionality. What you put out to the universe is what you do get back. I'm a firm believer in that. Connecting to source through meditation, through prayer, whatever your preferred mode is. And then also purging the toxic thoughts, purging the toxic emotions, whatever method you use. Journaling is very powerful for that. And surrounding yourself with people who lift you up. That's, I think, one of the most important things, especially as we change and evolve. Linda, I'm wondering if your friendships have changed, because you've gotten really spiritual lately. I've noticed in our last few shows that we've done together that you've got a real strong focus on your center. Has that changed your relationships?
On some, absolutely. Yes, I don't want to be around people that I don't want to be around, and I won't. And that's just the way it is. Time is too precious. Life is too precious. And I would rather be by myself, we were discussing this earlier, than be with somebody that, that I don't really want to be with. So, yes, some friends have gone by the wayside. And even existing relationships, you have to learn how to re-examine them on how to live with them more comfortably.
Yeah, recalibrate or reset some boundaries.
Yeah.
On, how to engage with those kinds of people. And even if you're with a good partner, even when you're with a partner, I love it when my man is here visiting me and we just have a Sunday morning and we're both doing our own thing. We're hanging out and it feels so good to be together. but we're not like hanging on each other. We're not demanding of each other's attention. We can be together, enjoy being together, be in this love field together, and still have our own downtime and do our own thing. I think those are the times that are really replenishing.
Yes, I would agree with that. Anybody that, wants too much from you, it might be okay at the beginning, but I think after a while it's wearing. And another thing that's very wearing is compromise.
Yeah, and that's why we got drained in the beginning, was that we were always compromised, always giving our energy away. As women, I think we just have a habit of giving our energy away. So love to figure out how other people are doing that. But one of the things that I find is really helpful for people is a practice called The Work by Byron Katie, and you can get her information from a place called thework.com. And that's turning some of those toxic thoughts around. So the things that really grip you, sometimes when you got to worry that you can't shake and it's draining you, it's almost like obsessive thinking. Or things that we believe about other people that really aren't true. If we're living in the past, we're living in the future, we're not spending time in the now. And there are methods of turning those thoughts around so that you can release them and they're not big energy drains. As far as food, obviously you want to eat good food. Sandra, in the past, I've talked about some superfoods like cacao, which we talk about a lot. Adaptogens like ginseng is really good to boost your energy. I take 2 ginseng every morning. There's something called rhodiola, which is a Siberian herb that's really helpful to boost energy and stamina. And maca powder, which we've talked about before, that Andean root that's really powerful.
Deb, not for this show, but I would like you to think about this for the next show that we do together, because everybody that I've talked to lately has got acid reflux or silent acid reflux. They didn't know they had it, but when they went to the doctor for a cough, or they went to the doctor because they were getting hoarse or whatever, everybody's getting diagnosed with silent reflux, and that is very, very much food controlled by the acidity of the food that you're eating. And then we can go the other way for alkaline that really kind of soothes that. And it's just not the odd person. It's like everybody I talk to lately is suffering from that. So I think that would really be a really good topic to get into of the foods that we can eat to kind of circumvent all that acid from eating up our esophagus.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And there's a lot of great help there. Food combining is one. And also as we age, the stomach produces less acid, so digestion is actually less efficient. And that's part of the problem. And it's counterintuitive. It's cool.
Yeah, it is. But it's definitely.
Girls, you know what? I gotta end the show. You've been outstanding. This is Sandra Beck of Powered Up Talk Radio with my wonderful co-host Linda Franklin in New York City. We visited today with Deb Boulanger and Maryam Webster. And next week when we come back, we're going to have another great show. We're going to learn how to power up in your 40s, 50s, and 60s and beyond. It's going to be a great week, everybody. Have a wonderful Memorial Day, and we're out.
We're so glad you joined us for Powered Up with Beck and Franklin. Sandra Beck, Los Angeles-based single mother and technology company owner, knows what it's like to be fit, funny, and fantastic in your 40s. Linda Franklin, a New Yorker with a successful marriage